I want to tell you that the Hedera Hashgraph is severely undervalued in terms of price to capabilities. It's currently trading at 6.5 cents an HBAR, and its current market cap is under $2 billion. Currently on 33rd spot of CoinMarketCap. And although it did gain a shit ton of market cap and a shit ton of market share, I still think that it is severely undervalued. And I think it is really riding under the radar. There's many reasons why I believe that it's undervalued. And there's a lot of great technologies out there. In today's video, I will give you the number one reason why the Hedera Hashgraph is so undervalued and why I think it is a top 10 cryptocurrency in the next bull run. I'm going to give you a specific reason, no bullshit, of why it is so undervalued. You see, in today's day and age, many cryptocurrencies, a handful, right? Not just Hedera, there are others that can say, hey, we're really, really fast. We're really, really cheap. We are really, really scalable. We are economically viable. We're environmentally viable. We have such a ridiculously kick-ass team behind us, so on and so forth, right? There are a handful of projects, whether you like the projects or not, that can say, hey, we can do all of that. You have Hedera, you have Solana, you have Algorand, you have Nair, you have Phantom, and a couple of other projects. Let's say there's a good half a dozen to a dozen ridiculously capable projects. This is a fact. But what actually gives the value to Hedera Hashgraph? And this is one of the things, one of the emphases that I've had on this channel for quite a while. You see, the Hedera Hashgraph is fantastic, but it's actually being used. A lot of people are currently hating on the Hedera Hashgraph. Recently, for the last 2 or 3 months, it has a steady 600 plus TPS per second. And a lot of people are so mad stating these are not real transactions. Now, I do have an entire video where I break down why these are real transactions, and you guys could definitely check it out up here. I won't go back into why these are real transactions, but really fast, you have something called HTS, which is the Hedera Token Services. And Hedera Token Services allow you to do things on the Hedera Hashgraph. One of the things that it allows you to do is track information, track data. There is a Hedera Governing Council member, Avery Dennison, that uses this to the fullest extent. They're not the only ones, but they are by far the largest ones using them. And this is why they have a lot of transactions per second. Now, what I tell all the haters of Hedera that can suck it twice, not once, but twice, is at the end of the day, Hedera has a service that they offer for actual use cases of the Hedera Hashgraph. Not in theory, not theoretically, but in actuality, with action right in front of your eyes. And it's currently unfolding, and you can see it right before your eyes. So the number one aspect of the Hedera Hashgraph is the actual applicability of using Hedera Hashgraph for real-world use cases for your specific needs as an enterprise business. End of story. Now, all these haters that are saying, hey, Hedera's transactions are not real, I don't agree with them. But I want to just counter that really fast, and I'm leading up to something. At the end of the day, we have a service that is being used. And that is the point of cryptocurrency. That is the point of DLTs, blockchains, DAGs, so on and so forth, to actually solve real-world problems. And in the case of Hedera Hashgraph, among other real-world problems that they are solving and will onboard in the future, tracking things is something that they have right now. Now, there is a huge piece of news that is coming to Hedera Hashgraph. There is a company called Fresh Supply Corporation. And Fresh Supply Corporation is now going to onboard for tracking tokenized assets on the Hedera Hashgraph. Think Avery Dennison on the same type of scale, in my personal opinion. Now, they're going to do something a little different, but also similar in the same realm. As a matter of fact, I think Avery Dennison's example is what's paving the way for new enterprise use cases. Earlier today, I recorded this video. As you can see, we have over 3,000 transactions per second currently being done on the testnet. 3,000 transactions per second. This is absolutely absurd and ridiculous. I am assuming that these transactions per second have something to do with this fresh supply chain that's coming to Hedera Hashgraph. Now, Fresh Supply Corporation, why is it important that they're coming over to Hedera Hashgraph? Hedera Hashgraph is a public ledger, open source. They were using something called MasterCard Provenance. And MasterCard Provenance is a private blockchain. Remember, we only hear about all the public blockchains, but there are a shit ton of private blockchains. MasterCard got one, Chase JP Morgan has one, so on and so forth. So the Fresh Supply Company was using a private MasterCard blockchain this entire time. And they actually did an interview with the Hedera Hashgraph team, and they actually said, hey, we think the future is moving to a public DLT, and we have a shit ton of different applications for tokenizing real-world assets, and we think that the Hedera Hashgraph community is going to be very, very happy. Let's go over to my desk, and I want to show you a little bit more about this event that's unfolding. But before I do, I want to thank today's sponsor, Crypto411 clothing store. It's an Etsy store. The link is down below. If you want your favorite Hedera gear, whether it's a t-shirt, a hoodie, a sweatshirt, a mug, or even a floor mat, definitely check out the link down below in the description. And if you're not a fan of Hedera or already have Hedera merchandise, I also have other cryptocurrencies like Polygon, Dogecoin, SHIB, Algorand, Quant, so on and so forth. Definitely check out the link down below. Affordable pricing and really dope merchandise. Let's go over to my desk. Let's get right into it. First and foremost, shout out to my man Mitchell at MIA_HBARbarian. He's always hooking me up with content. Thank you so much for giving me all the information so that I can make these banger videos. He shares this post earlier today. HBAR to the moon, shout out to you. Breaking: largest users of MasterCard's private blockchain Provenance has migrated over to public Hedera network. Huge steps in enterprise starting to adopt public networks and deploying large-scale applications. Hedera is going to lead this movement. Rocket to the moon, HBAR. I completely agree with this. This is what I'm trying to say on this channel for quite a long time. And I do believe that the Hedera Hashgraph has a leg up on all the other DAG and DLT technologies in terms of actual use cases and applicability of the use cases. It's very easy to say, I can do this and I can do that when nobody's actually using your shit. But Hedera Hashgraph actually has real world use cases that are currently being used, and they're obviously expanding on this. And I think that we're going to get dozens more. You heard that correctly. Dozens, plural, this year alone. We're excited to announce that Fresh Supply Corporation Australia, the largest user of MasterCard Provenance and partner of Combank, has migrated from the private MasterCard blockchain to Hedera for real-world asset tokenization. And this is going to explain what they do, but I just want to play you this clip. This is the CEO of Fresh Supply, and they were actually talking to the HBAR bull, and he's going to explain it better than I can.
Well, we're a B2B fintech. We're using data for a hopefully more sophisticated approach to supply chains. We're extracting critical information from within organizations in the agri-food and commodity spaces. Those encompass aspects like proof of existence, proof of work, proof of supply, proof of quality, proof of specification. And we employ this data to activate conditional event-based payment triggering. And so that streamlines financial processes. There's also the benefits of capitalizing on automation and data accessibility to enhance credit risk assessment methodologies. This is the next part, triggering payment, right? So it's not just capturing the information, it's what does that information do? So, okay, well, and then being able to quantify that. So quantify that now on chain, which is one of the reasons we've moved to HBAR, specifically selected HBAR to in a more granular way, describe what are the debt obligations between two organizations, party A or party B, X amount, for these types of good. What are the goods that are linked to them, right? When will that debt mature? What is the quality of that debt, right? So payment triggering is another a big piece. And I can't share too much, but there will be a part 2 around the kind of MasterCard story. But MasterCard Provenance was a private permissioned blockchain. And we see that, the space is moving to public, right? So public ledger, we like the speed, we like the efficiencies, and also around the ESG benefit, right? Low energy, stable costs, stable gases, et cetera, right? So let me go back. There's 2 parts: capturing information, and the number 2, triggering payments off the back of data, right? So payments that facilitate finance or lending.
So what should we expect to see from Fresh Supply Co. in terms of Hedera network usage? As in, what services do you leverage and what kind of volumes could we expect?
And then from a data perspective, we deal in tokenization of large amounts of physical goods. So real world assets is another theme. So I would say enough, and you won't be disappointed.
I mean, how could you not love that smile at the end from the HBAR bull? I think this is going to take supply chains and take it to the next level. So what Fresh Supply Corporation does is they track through the supply chain, but not only do they track items from the supply chain, they're a B2B, which is business to business, fintech, financial technology company, and they try to monetize all of this data. They try to take all the data from the supply chain from A to Z and figure out a way to actually make money with this, not just for themselves, but for all the businesses in between. And I believe that they're going to be taking all of this data that they're taking and all of this data that they're building on, and they will be building upon that on the Hedera Hashgraph. Avery Dennison took it to 1.0 where they're tracking a bunch of information, and this is absolutely dope. I'm not taking anything away from them, and hopefully Fresh Supply Corporation is going to take this to another level. Not only track from the supply chain from A to Z, but also be able to build on top of that. This is why I truly believe they're switching from MasterCard, which is probably a really good private blockchain. Remember, a private blockchain can do a lot of things that a public cannot because it is private. In other words, the capabilities are, I'm sure, up there. But I don't think that they could build on top of that private blockchain. And the Hedera Hashgraph offers a very reasonable and easy use case of being able to build on their layer 1 technology and build decentralized application built to suit your specific needs. I definitely see some massive gains coming around for Hedera Hashgraph in the next bull cycle, and this is why today I keep DCAing into my Hedera Hashgraph position and bought $50 more worth of Hedera HBAR. Please, in the comments down below, let me know if you guys keep buying Hedera HBAR and where you think the price of Hedera HBAR will go in 2025. You see, I did that in this video, and if you're curious my thoughts about the price prediction of Hedera Hashgraph in 2025, please click on this video. Make sure to keep it clean in between because hygiene is very important. Not financial advice, purely entertainment and educational purposes.